party leader, leadership of the United Democratic Party, I welcome you to this very impromptu press briefing. And first of all, I would like to say our nation is going through very trying times in these past few days. Two families have lost their children, their sons, their brothers, and their husbands, and the whole nation is in mourning. In their memory, may I just ask everybody here to observe 1 minute of silence in prayer for the departed officers, please. Thank you very much for that 1 minute of silence. Our nation is going through very trying times, and since the days of Kairaba, we have had occasion to be recognized globally as a peaceful, democratic, small country. Globally, we are known as the smiling coast of Africa. We have enjoyed this peace in spite of the 22 years of brutal dictatorship. This peace is part of our national identity. This peace is part of our national character. However, in recent years, violent crimes have been rearing its ugly head all over the Gambia. But the unprecedented, tragic shooting of police officers, I think this is probably the first time it has happened in our history. So again, we send our condolences to the bereaved families. We send our condolences to the IGP and all our men and women in uniform. We hope and we pray that the peace that our nation is known for continues to abide here. Of course, you the media know very well that over the years, UDP has been visited with orchestrated, organized state violence or even state terrorism. As recent as 2016, April, our hero, Ibrahim Solo Sandeng, was brutally assassinated by the state of the Gambia. Because of that, Alhaji Ousainou Darboe and his executive comrades came out, and their peaceful demand was met with unmitigated violence. They were thrown in prison. They were tortured. But that did not make UDP resort to arms or preach or practice violence. The politics of the UDP since the inception, 27 years ago, in the motto of the UDP, peace is the first word. Without peace, there can be never any life. Without peace, there can be no justice. Without peace, there cannot be normal human relationships. As a political party, we are concerned. The party leadership is concerned about the efforts that are being made in the name of partisan politics to mislead, misguide, and misinform Gambians. This is a very, very pacific party. We are known also as the rule of law party. I felt, Your Excellency, party leader, that is necessary to introduce you with these few words. It's a very sad time in the Gambia, and let us pray that through dialogue and through mutual respect, especially for the rule of law, that this country would regain its coveted position of being an oasis of peace. On that note, Your Excellency, you have the floor.
Thank you very much, Mr. Tal, for your preliminary statements. And it can be disputed that the nation is in grief, the nation is mourning. I am not sure whether there has been any official announcement or pronouncement as to declare a period of one mourning for these two fallen officers. But if there is none, I think each and every one of us, in our own individual way, can continue to mourn for them until the 7th day of their demise comes by. But this press conference is not about the incident of 12th September. This press conference is not about that incident. This press conference is about our own brothers, our own party colleagues who are in the custody of the security forces, or let me say the police. It is about that. Because the incident of 12th September is being investigated, and I think it will be callous and indeed irresponsible for me to try to make any statement about that. And the only statement that we made, which came out yesterday, was to debunk the falsehoods by some people in government circles. But other than that, we are not saying anything about the incident of the 12th September. Ladies and gentlemen of the press, it is not in dispute that the government in any country has the responsibility of enforcing its laws. It cannot be disputed that whenever a person is suspected to have committed a crime, the police have every authority, every right to actually ask such a person to either report or they themselves would come and escort you to their venue wherever they want to carry out any interrogation, conversation, or question about you. That is the prerogative of the state. What is, however, disputable and unacceptable is to use the system as a means of oppression, as a means of suppression. And that is why that some months ago, a lady called Mariama Trawale was taken to Banjul police station and was for several days going in and out of the serious crime unit being interrogated, or in fact, not even being interrogated. Once she was asked questions, and that was all, and she was asked to be going in and out of the police station. What she was allowed to have uttered was in the public domain, was in the hands of the police. They knew what she had said, and they knew that she was reacting to what had been said by somebody else. But the police never effected an arrest. The police did not invite her rather, until a gentleman they call Bakar Jaite, and some call him Bakso, went on the air and said, Adama Barrow, itala mansiana fa malong. Molbe nendirola, imman sonatala ke arrest. Adama Barrow ni manyang, ni muso ni talon president bi, ni muso ni ba arrest lale. And the following day, the man was arrested. So the police did not act on their own volition. They did not act on their own discretion. They were forced and pushed into it by this gentleman who calls himself an APRC official. 2 days ago, in fact, on the 13th to be precise, Usman Rambo Jatta was also heard on audio, castigating Modu Sabali, Sirfo Sonko, and Imam Sonko, and in fact, inferentially tried to link UDP with the event of the 12th. But for me, as I said, we are not dealing with that here, and I will not talk about that. But what is significant about that is, he said, IGP Abdullah Sanyang, for long you've been branded UDP. For long, UDP people do things that are no arrest. This is the time for you. In fact, Mamoud Sabali, Sirfo Sonko, and Imam Sonko, they should be arrested. In fact, you should arrest them. So he blackmailed the Inspector General of Police. After all, arrest them for what? He said he was disappointed for what Mr. Sabali had written or stated. He said that on Wednesday, and yesterday, Modu Sabali was arrested. Whatever he alluded to was already in the public domain. The police knew about it. The police read it. It was in his Facebook page. So what I'm just trying to say is that, it is people, political opponents of UDP, that are using the police for their own political agenda, for their own political purpose, and then getting them arrest our supporters. The statement that Mr. Sabali was allowed to have made was made on about the 7th of September. This was in Facebook, all over the world, all over. If the police cared, if the police felt that Mr. Sabali had committed an offense, he would have been arrested on the 7th, if not the 7th, at least on the 8th. Wouldn't have been on the prompting of Usman Rambo Jatta. But if they do act on the prompting of the political, let me if I might say so, the allies of their political masters, if they acted on their promptings and arrest is effected, what you're complaining about is sin. Is there any need to keep the person over again? Because you keep arrestees in detention to enable you carry out investigations. Now, what Mosabali Saleh to have said is written. There is no further investigation. If that is the crime, you already have the evidence there. What do you have to hold him for? If you have a case, you take him to court. If what he said violates or infringes any of the provisions of the criminal code, you do not need any further investigations. Because all that was saying that the PIU brutalizes the opposition, oppresses them. In fact, yesterday it happened at Kairaba, when some of our supporters went there to see Mr. Sabali. I mean, a group of paramilitary officers or the the police intervention unit personnel came, and instead of the civil police that they should be, they were approaching and talking to people, in a way that we expect from Gambians, and started harassing them, beating them. And in fact, there was a lady, Ajabinta Jabi, she was malhandled. People were being beaten in their cars. People running to enter their cars so that they could drive out. But that was absolute evidence of how the PIU was brutalizing opposition people here. But if you say that, as I have done so, I have now said that they do so, what is the crime? What provisions of the law have been offended, have you infringed? But what you have seen is very reminiscent of the Jammeh era. The security, in fact, in the Jammeh era, UDP's whole problem, our entire engagement, we are never with the APRs as a party or the APRs militant. It was between UDP and the security. And now, the same thing is happening between UDP and the security. And I had earlier on, some time ago, said, look, we expect the security forces of this country to really treat us as Gambians, that we believe that they are the people that we should be working with, and they are the people that we will be working with when we come into government. So our relationship should be harmonious. We shouldn't, in our own quest to really get to political power, the security should not really be an obstacle to us. They should be friendly to us, just as they are friendly to any other thing. But that does not mean that if any UDP supporter or any UDP member commits a crime, he should not really be arrested. What we say is that you are arrested and be treated according to the procedures laid down by the law. What further evidence do the security want in respect of those Facebook postings by Mr. Sabali? What offense has he committed? But as I said, these are things reminiscent of the Jammeh era. Since the 70s was in the circulating in the social media, or all those who are friends from Sabali have seen them. Why do you wait until Friday evening and then ask Mr. Sabali to go to the police? These were the sort of things that were happening in Jammeh's time. And of course, Bayo Sonko was also arrested, taken to Kairaba, separated from Sabali. These were the things that were happening in Jammeh's era. So all those things that were happening in Jammeh's era, we are having them now. And that is because those people who were at the helm, or at least in senior positions in the security in Jammeh's era, are the people who are still at the heads of this security institution. They know nothing other than what used to happen in Jammeh's era. They know of no other procedure. Those ones who are law-abiding, they are stigmatized as opposition because they want to see that things are done according to law. They taint them and say you are opposition. And of course, in the Gambia today, When anybody is branded as opposition, it means it's UDP, no other party. If they want to refer to another party, they will say the name straight away. But it's only UDP that is taking us the opposition in this country, and we are glad and happy about that. Now, what we are saying is that the arrest of Modi Sabali was not really done in order to enforce any provision of the criminal law. It was not an arrest done in good faith. It was an arrest actuated by malice. It was an arrest solely intended to provoke Mr. Sabali. And if you remember, some time ago, when Mr. Sabali was arrested, it coincided with another incident of great national concern to everyone. That was when it was announced that there are people who wanted to stage a coup. That arrest was at the same time. Now again, you have this tragic incident taking place in the Gambia, arresting him. That is intended to provoke some elements of the society, but we will never be provoked. We will never be provoked. We'll show you that what you are planning or what you really you look into doing, UDP will not fall in for it. But we will say this, that when Mr. Sabali said that the PIU under Pata Jallo is used to brutalize, we have seen the evidence of it. At least we have seen the evidence of the PIU brutalizing people. We have Fatou Mbodj, who was arrested by my residents and brutalized by the PIU. So the PIU has in fact established bad name for itself. Has established bad name for itself in the country. And I think it is time that the PIU cleanses itself. The PIU takes itself to the laundry and makes itself clean by building a reputation that is, that the Gambian people, will feel that we are satisfied that these are people who deserve to be in our uniform. These are people who do not brutalize our citizens. They have a burden to do that. And certainly, I challenge the leadership of not only the PIU, but even the Gambia Police Force, because the PIU is part of the Gambia Police Force, that you should be engaging in reputational building rather than really doing things that will undermine your reputation, that will do things that will continue to taint you. There's nothing that anybody can conclude other than this being a politically motivated arrest. An arrest intended to silence Modi Sabali. But of course, Modi Sabali is like several leaders in the UDP. You can incarcerate us, but you cannot stop us talking. Because the ideas that we stand for, even if you incarcerate us, those ideas continue to float in the streets. And the people will talk. We know that these 72 hours that the law Constitution talks of is abused. And we also know, or let me say, I know, as a matter of fact, that if you rely on a legal position to do certain acts, which is wrongful in the eyes of people, you must be able to show that act was done in utter good faith. It was not done as an abuse of power. And this is certainly one of abuse of power. Gentlemen of the press, it's that we should call you and put forward our case and to say that we condemn the use of Yahya Jammeh's playbook in the run of this country, and that is being done every day. When there is no regard for the rule of law, because regard for the rule of law means really enforcing the law in good faith, not when you use it in order to score points that are either immoral or points that are really intended to stifle and weaken your opponents. So our lawyers have gone to see Mr. Sabali. He's in the best of spirits because I don't think it could make any of us to break him down can ever succeed. He's in the best of spirits, and his family are also in the best of spirit because they realize and know that the cause that Mr. Sabali is pursuing in this country is a just cause, and being a just cause, they are in high spirit and they are proud that Mr. Sabali, his sufferings is all for the good of this country. Ladies and gentlemen of the press, I thank you all for your attention.
Thank you very much, Secretary General and Party Leader. Ladies and gentlemen of the press, it's time for the usual Q&A after the Secretary General's statement. Please identify yourself and please ask your question in any of our languages, that is English, Mandinka, Wolof, Fula, and Jola. Of course, we may have to find translators to help us with some of those languages. Yes, sir.
Yo, assalamu alaikum, badingolo, kal kontong alto kendol nal kontong kendola, nal badi malam rajadamo na studio te jang, en suto nyina comme press conference men sotota concerning about UDP la party militant when ye arrest. Already they are under the custody of the security forces, and we go Gambia la security forces kamen commandi PIU la under the leadership of one and only party men abekumbo kanung wato men na falindro keta ya jamela regime ñu falinta ate regime kilong me problem sort of where are dismissed from the forces kabrim falindro keta masakunda kutona da membe ko anambaro la masakunda ansa fo coalition masakunda otuma ko commandi men atele finta jang ate pate kilong ñu ay kuma jama fo o man sakunda koto nyin nakola manga sembo warta bake men ketala anim fana injustice men ketala karola adam barola man sakunda la karola because ajeko anyolu men be ko policeol men ye baynu do ko la service menon jamale ri in set man sakunda o forces o nyindo yate sideline molnat na alaw kumbo molnata jibe ko nyum toñalde o mu injustice le mu ala karola e magnana do kotam ri instead le men be ko men ning president koto e problem o non dol be exile dol be no Gambia banko kan bori mantra service o ke kan because of inin president koto makeno ate bew molle kono yo dolbe murunde ila palace holto e mate murunde molnat na finti diamuta kola minto through social media kata dinkra kotangol to fo minatna murundi ala do ko nyinna fo alnata ke commissioner police commissioner be mun don mol e balafala soda yaje ko membe tamakan ala karola is injustice. Donc majority of mol men kumbota la kola ni yajibe 90% abe munun UDP mol lati itulla kanyi kala sifa ke social media kaje ko injustice sis banna bankoka. But all of a sudden dawo bota men fo kan reminiscent wala be ke kan ninata the era of the dictatorship on sa for remnants infinity is a recollection from the old system. I will emphasize kan wala wati the same book the brutal dictator abeme use kan no be atew buku klon yele from the index kadati from the first page from the first paragraph ka karang one after the other ibe takan walla ni nata jibe na banko kan security force sol be tembo mento abala fa warta ko after 22 years of struggle, especially in patio mem mbala kumo fokande membe ko UDP patio. UDP sovereignty means soto in the hands of this dictator mem botana banko kan membe ko ya jamme anala regime onye. But Martin UDP to assert themselves to violence. It continued to be law-abiding institution, law-abiding political party. Bruka jibe ko rule of law ko maintain kabula no kang isinaje ko tilengon in tonya si sabat no banko kan nyamen e man give up ndong hanbi ibata sila kilon ba so man sakuna be sirin bi ate man sakuna mo safo abota minto abota UDP party la kono. But unfortunately, surprisingly, men nata ko man sakunda nyaton koti ako anyata no bi safo rong UDP atina ko amal doko keno doko men ako anata men na pour Gambia di olam ka mambe di la balunya falin ka Gambia la alhalo falin ka Gambia la tarambulo falin ka Gambia la kobe falin no anyinata wala ate ala day and night programu men katara bulo kono wala mu ate be o patio men ate botaje where he emanated from. Ati originally meatina biabe palaso mento meniatina ao palaso soto abe any bunya kono abe any comfort kono o state house je meni o sabama biya kanya tanola woti nimmembe to nyafala because UDP da manke opposition party to Gambia bari opposition party will be jele wol ning campaign waro sitale moke makamai but ning after the months of campaign nobody hear from them. There is only constant political party mean resisting on what they mean for Olam Drong Kajeko to be an opposition until they bounce to the governance. Ibuka retreat, kubuke kijofara, kubuke silandi, kubuke murundi komo. whatever treatment subdue to them, they never retreat. Whatever punishment, whatever harassment, anything one can say meted out on them, they will never retreat because time it was very hard. Dictator Blokono Molla Carola, but you might name Mutakom. A man retreat, a man subdue, a man discourage, a man frustrate. So it will find moments in the new Kwabe frustrating la. I doubt he won't succeed. Just because of law abiding patiola mun patio wati nako kujama beje they can't jump and do it because nito ko ela patiola motto justice, peace and progress ya follow menna wala woti etebe telimo ebe wala nyinikan pour Cairo se sotono nyatuta sotono nyankuma sabo UDP la moto beloring wala kam. So kulemu ninko kuketa nata kumulu njawla mbi nyimpati yo men ba fola kumo fokanteng UDP e kawle associate ala militanol wati nying back and forth nembe caring santen pusan pool membe caring amansum fenna because they are the strongest party. It will party men say any government remove no Gambia. So that's the only thing. Yo, nganadung ila press conference ming fujeto nga a brief domani. We cannot get into all details because time or tattle. But that way man for ako a press conference men kumandi manna na puruka diamo nying incident do men keta on the 12th of this month September komang belanga kalamta na PIU official police thing. Two of them were brutally assassinated during the night of their service with their colleague, a police woman, who is now struggling with her life, recovering from the shootings. So, ako man na puruka diamu wala karola bari, inada ka diamu munela, the arrestees, two of their party militants, party officials, member ko ila campaign manager Momodu Sabali, and in Sirfo Sonko. Sirfo is at the Karewa police station under police custody. Sabali, I don't know where he is detained. Atebe dameng imoto mentioned, but Yemen Foko, they are there with good faith. Taraman tare soto kanjeto just comment from men jutila je bela do kole kekang no harassment ko men tate visit je lawyer fula tate visit anim fanan modol fin dale men tate fofu tema ini nyoje so ko a mantra feng encounter kanje, but the only problem is why are they going to seize their liberty? So mnem quoted wrong law men fokang munatina wati nin kuketa watole mu kana ka UDP la mall arrest. So people like Momodu Sabali in sifa ketal no watambita no ya fonu mall le pareta kam adam barola man sakunda boyni yewol muta wato menna o mol men yetumi bari tumirolem me buloja bala man kido siga purka ke yetumilal ko pareta kala Sabali muta wato fanana ka o temben of because of kuma kamul mena ka furro Gambia comme social media kita Gambia masakunda le problem multi starting from ya jamme kata fu alam baro men fan lota suba ko aka nginin karol ke molla ate fula foro do mune photo social media because by then dictator ya jamme social media control abuka circulate no abuka fluno Gambia banko kan out men be outside all ka information o soto eka amurundi dumala Gambian kolia but be o social media all kala enemy me at see semboto because mune ya jammela man sakunda social media wala boyn so that way kuma kan men fo kumo jama men polisol kay men keten e men ke mod saballa anin sirfo sonko nata ya kinun komen do ko la sarto kanmo ñine men fo e men safe e la Facebook page olto fennamu omu fenneti abe jaharan to kiskis kuto to koteke yani bo mare diten na fo loi men fo na constitution men fo comme isa mare diten 72 hours wala tilisaba yala ko kiskisi ni ya mutadula sotale ya samba kiti dula but say ni men na evidence of a block on daylo men na ya kumandi ka correction so auto man needs to pour ka mare detain a charge ya prosecute that's the only thing so aje ko nyimu kulet dong be UDP la sa fotong be UDP ani mod sabali be wala provoquant pour se kuke même manyen nakake non UDP tambita kujama la nyi naflaol membe ko nyim provocation o men akafote ala foro nyinto so nyinen mu ila bengo fongo dayloti bengo wulta nyine kan bengo wuli nyin kan comme ning incident o men keda nyin mo fa men keda yela ni ko aytandi wotole yela sama konton fotandi badingol mala men e fotel e badingol la anim banko as a whole anin e be do ko la dinkra mento bari anatna dandalaro di nyaton ko la men be ko police ko ka kinyamen e be ka diamu dol la karola nin dol la karo wulda mol ko wuli diamu ye react dolta seke te react lawla so ningara policeol e partial ta sorry impartial ta o sifata kila bari man impartial be karakilin na so munen drong me ke pala soto be don kan wala gilola e man hani ila dogo nyanda kele nyame gambe de ol tema e buga tama no nyam ina kumoti ni membe to nyafala gambe la koto nyanda kan ina fo because ning mo wulta NPP la Karola or any other side ay kuma kurum fo UDP la nyaton kolla o banku din kotangol la polisol buka mari ares hanya ares ikablale forthwith ani UDP la mu hanara polisol ma kalamda militanol be wulla NPP molbije walla do ko manga fendi kata social media ka polisol has ka je ko UDP la molle nyinke albisiring aliyef ibulaje munam kumoti drong the following day mba mwele yo mari kwan question na question ni kana la muneto detention so ngana ngalla moy santeng ila nyinen karol line membe ne journalist ol ning labo temo ani jabiro la karol.
I would like to actually Mandinga. I am Padera Adama from Home Digital FM and Member TV. Ndalo nyirika romekala data fahidi la nyirika. I statement of do fajang wala nyindiko wate ka UDP ning security. Ngajono wate soro jampana security do fana soro paralu many from video ya kuma for UDP ma. Lafta kalon because iko UDP ni security li fo aliyo ko nyen ale step ta ko nyen dolowa and video findi the police only ko ba investigate kan for any report dia labang o paral la side ning report mandi munema la stand as of now. Second question we kala men la question fula dama ko modo siare wolen nyindi alla molbe moto science moni be motorable finally o moto nyi ko do ning wato mi ala ko nyanta wala kala je ni wasida tambida wala ni pare da ko be kidin la wala patiola stand mo ne.
Para
No, I think we'll just move all the mics there. Let's move all the mics there.
Sorry, I apologize. I thought with this it was loud enough. I'm sorry. Oh, but you want to have it here? Yeah, very well. But the mentioning Tonya mbele na je video to o police on mele alon ka foko paralo mele alon ka foko ye manya like kumal fo mo manjiki na security officers lulu is manya menke and is ko kumo menfo actually complaint ala de bari many action tala jeto one inspector general of police ababulu adiata nyame ayatonya bari men ko wonon kabako woni e manya menke mo majiki kabako mo sana uniform ko yo manya ke di follow yende yo wuli ko tenge yo uniform wo me man dikla wonon kabako inspector general of police ni appropriate action tala in fact haklo bakang ngamira Italian National Assembly National Assembly inspector general ni ngam aning honorable ya maintain sanyang no sabo dun tete mali ko bola par waya tan la ka ko ila commenti look na haji tiyato opposition no domo ni men fofana wadam ari wadam ni han ka ko bi hanim police o mo fa sira man para mo fa UDP gol kono zero ko ko de kala jeto ndala mi ro to wonom ba man ko kany do to nan ka ko contanta le kanyin ke ari man na de bala ko kana kake ni mo yo fo ali ta alfa nya boda ila ko do mo fan ko ko ka konde e mo mari kulu well Celsi never cover any UDP ko fa o kus ko men kata no godu na ko da bundada ko le kala police wala me yake na ila nyang ka fna nyang
yes Allah mol men ya
well okay na mol mel ka fa ya muta iko membembulu wala ital ko 72 hours de bulu o 72 hours expert nyaga tara dame mitaje to ipuni ya jaj dakala mo badama kala e jaj of course bitala ke defend no tara ke defend because already ma fa nyama to la start je to bi kabo mo kata mo sabanya kata je bi and Mr. Sonko Fana rise not out of Nigeria so we are prepared for it
Mr. John?
This Abdullah John, Jollof News.
So John, can you please?
Yeah, Freedom Newspaper, Associated Press, and Yorbi. It is a Senegalese newspaper. Well, Senegalese daily newspaper, Yorbi. Jollof News, Freedom Newspaper, and Associated Press. Well, yesterday you put out a statement, a very strong statement, making it very clear that the government is weaponizing the Sukuta Jabang shootings against the United Democratic Party. What do you think really have dragged the Gambian government to opt weaponizing this incident against the leading political party in the Gambia.
As I've said, we do not want this press conference to be dealing with that case, which is under investigation. Rather, we have made our stand very clear that the falsehood that was peddled by Ibrahim Sankare was really trying to tarnish the image of the UDP and to say that this gentleman was an employee of Brikama Area Council, and the people who control the staff of Brikama Area Council have categorically stated that this gentleman does not work for them. In fact, yesterday, I think what I heard maybe somebody at the briefing was that this man was a part of the rebel group, in Casamas. So, but I do not want to delve into that. I want to really keep away discussing that issue. We have come out to our press release to say that it was an irresponsible statement, and we in fact expect the Inspector General of Police or his deputy or his delegate or members of the investigating team to be making any updates, not government posts, not government spokesman. It's not within his province. It was just, a blatant self-arrogation of authority, and nobody dared to really check him out. But I think sensible people have checked him out, that he couldn't do that, and he shouldn't really do that. And that is why yesterday the responsible people who are in charge of this matter went out and made statement on them, and that is the right thing. We hope that this gentleman will know the limits of his remit and not get himself involved in matters that do not concern his office at all.
Thank you very much, Mr. Dabo, for that wonderful statement.
I'm not officer. I'm not officer.
Mr. Dabo, I'm a Jarama of the Standard newspaper. Okay, what action are you going to take for those who are associating this incident to your party? What legal action are you going to take against them?
Well, I cannot tell you what legal action we're going to take. I think that will depend on the advice given to us by our legal advisors. I can tell you something for nothing. I have already started consulting lawyers about the outrageous statement made by Rambo Jata that I am an accomplice in this matter. I have started consultation with lawyers on that, and they'll give me the advice what to do next. I can tell you that.
Bakari Kamara from Kamaraba Official. His Excellency, ye patio le nyaton kaya, me alonko bi kurebe kerem banko kan ye la patio dimolu tumi o kol kono e dole muta. Bari même fanam bebe kerem mole même mira e la patio dimol jama kam fundindi audiol to wolo nyindi ko parendrol ning sim fanya lebe takan kaje ko ke la patio dandi wolon ka ban ploto ko la nyim banko kan fote amira ko itela patio kukele men sati na nyim patio banno nyim banko kan.
Well, follow lafta nyim follow kafoko imanna mo muta imanna pati di muta kafoko nyim kol melkata iba konole for man soto. So really that's nimem fana yofo is misinformation, so that should be made clear. And for nil mol na fay laftale pour kan na patio ka ban fofu ka ban ban o fana mam fem fen longoto nimma ya evidence to ya natinya nimma ya evidence to ya natinya nga evidence to ya natinya then nsin fangad bawo man koloko kan fonko fankatan kurto akamone sale so ni me also ya fan kan then we can guard ourselves, but now, as far as I'm concerned, man anything je ngalona kafoko member caring some overzealous politicians nyolo. Of course, well, one man love UDP la. Ya lo ngapati odo ngong koy be fanyan la ko kandio. Foi bang. Ya lo bari sabo kunte fem fala kafoko ni ye ko be mballa be nyine kala mo ma ko be mballa so mun na mba fala ko ni mbal ko be nyine kala mun na mbo fala. It doesn't arise at all. Yes. There's somebody behind there.
Behind you. Madam, your name and where you come.
Assalamu alaikum. My name is Mariama Esise. I am from Jamano Media and Products. My question is, BIU brutalization is becoming very common whenever UDP party have a dispute with the current government. And there is a rumor circulating which someone trying to associate UDP to the September 12th incident. What action will UDP take against this kind of things? Whenever something happens in the country, they try to associate it with UDP. What kind of action will UDP take? Thank you.
Well, let me say that as far as I know, no investigator has called on any member of the UDP for me to be able to say that somebody is associating UDP with it. If irresponsible people, and I say irresponsible people, go on their loose stocks, I mean, a person as responsible as myself and a party as responsible as UDP would not respond to those loose stocks. Please, you will not respond to those loose stocks at all.
The ladies are speaking now. Welcome.
It's kind of the same question with this one. Sorry, my name is Usainu Dawa. I'm a reporter from
Usainu Dawa. Thank you. I'm happy with that. I'm happy for that.
Yes. My name is Usainu from the Digest News. Like this one said, like you said in your speech, Mamadou Sabe have been associated with such a thing. First, it was the coup, and now this incident. What are you doing as a party leader to put a stop to this?
What I have said quite clearly is that Most Sabali is not associated with this incident. Nobody has linked him with this incident. What I'm just saying, my grouse is that was it in December when there was this foil coup, people are talking about that and then arrested Most Sabali. You have this incident and then arrested Most Sabali. And that is fanning speculations. That was Most Sabali part of it. They didn't know anything about it. And of course, the first time, everybody was really shocked when the statement they said prompted them to arrest Most Sabali in the Banco Talale. I mean, found that it's not anything that runs contrary to the law. And in fact, Nabranga Banco Tale. Ibe, na Banco Tale. A man of Jumali Babalanola. We have 15,000 votes more than NPP. So na Banco Tale. And that is what Mr. Saval was referring to. And this one also is close to this incident. Yeah? And then people have, peddling information or speculating that Most Sabali might have been arrested in connection with it. But as far as I know, he has been arrested or was invited for questioning for saying that the PIU brutalizes and oppresses UDP. That is what he has been called in for questioning. And if that is against the law, you don't need any further investigation. You have the evidence there, written. It's not that hearsay. You have it there written. Take him to court if you are really enforcing the law in good faith. If you are not using the law to suppress your opponents. If you are not doing what Karl Marx said, that the law is in the hands of the authority to suppress the lumpen proletariats. And that is what is happening.
Please, your name and where you come.
Good evening, Honorable Dawo. the party leader, United Democratic Party. My name is Alaji Chanaswari from the FAT Network. Over 2 decades, your party suffered in terms of military security brutality, and also having linked to freedom of expressions, where some expressions might go against the will of the government. How do you intend to address some of these issues, especially that has to do with freedom of expressions, where we've seen at least 2 of your party members invited for questioning, and this has happened over the years too?
Well, I'm happy you acknowledge that over the past 2 decades, UDP has been the subject of maybe police brutality, that we have been a subject of harassment and so forth. And we have always resorted to law, because UDP is a party that believes in law. It's UDP that believes in constitutionalism. It's a party that really believes that anything that runs contrary to the laws of the country is inimical to the stability of this country. So we are always going to pursue the legal path. And we'll pursue the legal path until government tells us that no, you cannot really pursue and get legal remedy. Then we'll sit back and think. But then what we'll do every day is to remind the Inspector General of Police and all officers serving under him, the Chief of Defense Staff, in fact, all government institutions, ministers, the President, everybody, that the never again mantra is not for nothing. It's a reminder of those dark days. And when we believe that we have gone out of those dark days, we are getting into darker days. And that never again should be a reminder to everybody. And that those people who are behaving this way may one day face a commission, and they will stand and they will sit in the front of television cameras embarrassed when they are asked, have you forgotten TRRC's mantra, never again? Why did you do the same thing that was being done in the Jammeh's era? Then I hope they'll have an answer for it. But we believe in rule of law, and everything that we'll do will be according to law. And let me tell you, nobody is going to provoke us to do anything that is untoward, except if what happened when Solo Sandon was killed, we will not consider any law. We will go out and seek remedy, because if any government that does that, because we believe the government have a right to arrest anybody, but you do not have a right to torture anybody to death. If Barrow government does that, if I will do worse than what we did in Jammeh's time. Oh yes, we will not that kind of compromise. We believe in the rule of law, but if you, the government, go out and kill our people, now we'll certainly react, and of course we'll do that. Yeah.
Assalamu alaikum. I would like to ask my question in Wolof. Honorable, dila ndokale rek saa su ne ñu gis ne jamono ji nag Facebook bi mu ngi jax inil UDP bàyyil UDP sa supporters yu bari seen xol a ngi tooy mu ngi fees parce que ñu ngi bugg a associé yéen ak li nga xam ne moo nekk yi fi police bi yow lay wax sa supporters yi moo especially ñi nga xam ne nekkun si Gambia ñu ngi bitim réew nit mun na moo toog nag am lu ko métti toog si internet di wax naka nga gisee jamono Adama Barrow mu nga xam ne moom moo nekk président si wàllum security ndax Gambia fu mu nekk nii secure na ndax secure wut parce que ndaw yu bari ñu ngi bind si internet bi di wax ne lu mel nii su xewee si police kon dina mën a xew si ku ne beneen question bi nag moo nekk ne noo gisee yëfi police bi dëgg la ñaari police génn neen àdduna mu nekk lu métti waaye tamit ñu ne su nekkoon ne tey keneen la laaloon tey doo gis ni nga xam ne noonu leen si farloo ñu farloo si naka nga gisee lii within 2 days ñu mun a jàppa ki nga xam ne moom leen suspect.
Well, one case question good question. Why su fekkee ñaari civilians rey nañ leen in the manner in which these two people were killed, yaakaar naa ne police yi dinañ ci taxaw dinañ ci farlu def li leen war yaakaar naa ko gooma ne action bi ñu jël dañ ko jël because ñi dee police lañu yaakaar naa ne swift action bi ñu jël dañ ko jël pour ne am na ku yaaxal waa réew mi te ñun suñ liggéey la pour gis ne ku def jëf ju ñaaw ji ñu trace ko ñu jàppa ko ñu teg ko ci kanami loi so gooma ne daal affaire being a police officer or not being a police officer has anything to do loolu la foog has anything to do with this de su fekkee na police yi loolu leen motivate den naa ne loolu du nekk yoon waaye bangoma loolu now about smart supporters yi ci in the diaspora lu ma leen di wax mooy ne 22 years under Jammeh moo gënoon a difficult so standing jëloon liñ daan def ñu continuer ci loolu nguur gi I know is fighting hard to survive because the institution that brought this government into power is the NPP. NPP loolu yi nga leket su tojee yi nga leket su tojee dafa UDP NPP kay yi nga leket su tojee NPP noonu la mel dafa tojaat so QA is a passing time so that the next 2 years more gonna important for the Gambians that we must make sure that in these next 2 years we make sure that there's absolute stability in this country so that in 2026 we will have in this country government boo xam ne du nuroo government Adama Barrow sakatuma ngay ko compare ak government yi Yaya Jammeh that is loolu mooy ne métti na waaye lu métti nag dañ ko fexe ñu muñ ko buñ def leneen loo xam ne dina ñaaw so loolu laa leen a wax ñun ñëpp ñu determine ne 2026 we'll get this government out we can get it out and we'll get it out. Yeah.